So I have in front of me how many is it? 95 photos that BMW has released of the R1300 GS Adventure 2025 model year bike. And so I put it down in like a 15-minute video. I've looked more at the bike, I've looked more at videos, I finally have read the press release in full, and so this is a follow-up video to my kind of off-the-cuff video that I published a few weeks ago now, and will just be just a follow-up. And I want to look more at the design more critically, and I hope you like it. Thanks for watching, and let's get right into it. So we're starting here with shift assist, or automatic shift assist. There's no clutch at all, which is just wild to see. You've got manual mode activated there. In addition to finally all the button holes are filled up. But I think this technology is going to be just super interesting. I would love the ability to still modulate torque to the rear wheel when I want to. And with the lack of clutch, you're just not going to be able to do that. But for now, it's optional. But like manual transmissions, the less people that buy a manually shifting BMW, the more likely this is going to end up becoming standard over the next 10, 15 years. I certainly wouldn't buy the first version of it, but that's just me. So when you look through some of these photos of the GS, well, I'll hold that thought for a second, actually, because I had some additional thoughts here. But let's kind of look first. My complaints in the video about not getting an 11-inch TFT screen, I think those are still valid complaints. That the 6.5-inch TFT screen is really compact now. You have in that lower section, you've got ride height. You have the gear you're in, dynamic versus manual. You've got the distance between you and the car in front of you. You have your speed limit indicator from the connected system. You have your cruise control setting. It's just getting super duper busy. So I really feel like as feature packed as these bikes are now, they really need to start incorporating the 11-inch TFT into these and honestly make the TFT system work reliably. And actually, some of these photos you guys might have seen yet. So BMW has a press pack that you can download. It's like a 500 megabytes, but it has 95 photos of the GS. So pretty cool stuff. These are Touratech made panniers, but they are reinforced with rubber, like very similar to the Zico Pros, which I think is welcome. The rubber is wraps around bigger than the old ones, and you'll see the brushed aluminum that surrounds the tank is the same brushed aluminum on the boxes, which was not the case until this design. So I think I like that the OEM boxes now match the tank. You'll also notice that exhaust is sitting lower than it was in the past. It's shorter, but it doesn't go back as high, but it also enables that rear box. And you can pause if you want to on that last screenshot. It enables that exhaust side box to actually be larger in storage weight because you don't have the exhaust cut out as pronounced. All these pictures up front of the red launch model have the integrated blinkers, but you'll notice when we get to the trophy and the rally specs that you'll see that the blinkers are not in the handguards, and that's the Enduro package I was mentioning earlier. Also, the red kind of demo press launch bike is spoked wheels, not forged Enduro wheels. We'll see how those end up being trimmed once you look at all the launch models that come to the States, how many be forged versus spoked. But yeah, that new exhaust is interesting. So it still sits the same height, but it doesn't go back as far, and so you have that different design for your boxes, and it'll certainly impact the kind of boxes that third-party accessory makers will be making for these. So we'll have to see just how the market responds to them and what kind of boxes we see that are made particularly for the GS Adventure with this shorty exhaust silencer muffler. I haven't seen a picture of it yet, but I think the lower crash bars are different on the Adventure model. You have these almost like steps that have been baked into the crash bars. So it's like it wraps around, and then you have this extra like step up piece. I think that's just so that'll hit first when you lay it over. It lays over more evenly. But some of these bikes are equipped with just naked cylinders. Others are equipped with cylinder head guards. So you have to kind of make out the details there. But I think this bike with those cylinder head guards and the OEM crash bars are probably going to make products like the Machine Art Moto X head unnecessary, because they did a really good job with these cylinder head protectors. Just note, to do a valve check or spark plug replacement, you need to remove both the cylinder head guards and the crash bars to do that. But the crash bars look to be a lot beefier than previous models, and I think that just a Touratech or an Alt-Rider reinforcement bar on that back side will be all you need for this. Now, the photos are also including the new connected navigator, so they're moving away from Garmin completely and not moving over to TomTom. So you'll still have TFT with TomTom baked in, but the Garmin is gone as well. Interesting, brake lever doesn't have the dual level brake lever like it does in the current GSA. They've gone just a single lever. I guess no one was really doing that adjustment anyway, and it was just extra complications. So the brake is now just a single lever pad. You'll also notice on the windscreen, it has that Aeroflow looking cowl. So if you look at like 1150 GSA, it has a very similar plastic. So the winglets are gone, I think. The winglets are gone, like they are on the current GSA, and they've just moved to these much larger fins that cover up that rear, the sides of the windscreen. So Heather's F750 GS, we installed those from a company called Madstad, and they're Lexan, but they work really, really well. I think it's just it's an improvement of the winglets. There are people that like to mount bags to their winglets, and so you guys are going to be kind of out of luck there. Also looking at that skid plate, it still looks really thin, but good job BMW of that skid plate now covering more of the exhaust headers. It doesn't extend back to the center stand, but it goes pretty far back. So that's a nice improvement over the current version. And yeah, color matched handguards. So red handguard covers, which is cool. So I assume the Rally will be blue. We'll see in a second. And I also want to call out these tank bag latches. So you've got two up there at the front where your cell phone holder goes, and then you've got one big one in the back. I think you can actually like buy any sort of like Molly, Army surplus bag with straps and just strap it in there. So it's going to be really easy to just mount anything you want to with like a Voila strap setup or a Molly strap setup. Just really, really nice. And then, yeah, from the last picture, you can see those nano LED auxiliary lights were redesigned. They're no longer removable because the GSA doesn't come with an upper crash bar. And man, back to the accessory makers. So I don't see any upper mounting location for upper crash bars from any third party. And so mounting lights to the new GSA is going to be a challenge. I don't know where you're going to mount them. I mean, obviously the lower crash bar there, but you're kind of... I wouldn't recommend it. I have mine mounted there, and they really got beat off-road. And then, yeah, you've got the fork-mounted lights, but you can't really do much of those either off-road. So BMW is really kind of just saying to accessory makers, figure it out. But you can see a closer look there, how those are mounted up. Also, the tank has the exposed welds, which is kind of cool. There'll probably be a polished 719 tank, but I just like that BMW usually covers those with... like a fairing piece that goes from the gas tank all the way down to the front of the seat. And now they're just exposing the welds completely and just kind of owning that utilitarian look. Later, towards the end of the video, there's some design concepts. Is that rubber pad under the 1300 there? Those rubber pads are completely flush with the ground. So if you're on the center stand, those rubber pads are totally perpendicular to the ground. They're a flat surface. And BMW chose in their mock-ups to put a Starbucks coffee cup on one of them to show just how you can put drinks on there. And I thought it was so hilarious that they took that extra, just kind of owning the market that, hey, we know you guys put Starbucks cups on these on your bikes, and now you have a place for it. I think the biggest design dislike I don't like is that front beak, which is now shorter. So more that front tire is exposed all the way back to where the front seat starts. That whole tank cowl radiator cover isn't for me. Oh, and also in the trophy here, you'll see those rubber pads are replaced by metal webbings, so you can actually mount things, you can tie things to there. So the winglets are gone, but you can now tie bags to those webbings. BMW is also making fog light covers, so Touratech will have to figure their stuff out. Also, you'll notice those pieces of, and they'll show our pictures in a minute, but you can also mount bags to your tank radiator cowl as well. They have a few items there to hook into. So basically you'll be able to, with the trophy spec and the rally spec and enduro trim, you'll be able to mount bags where your winglets used to be on top of the tank and the side of where the tank is on the front. And so maybe companies will start making light mounts here. I don't know if I would trust that to a T25 fastener, but it is what it is. There's the option 719 cylinder head covers with a shinier cylinder head guard. I wouldn't go that route, but it is what it is. 719 obviously will come initially in that green color, and just beautiful bike. Does the 719 also expose the tank with the welds? I'm not quite sure. There's your sport exhaust, and I'm not seeing any design differences here over the 1300 GS. Other than that's a weird looking wheel that they photoshopped up there. There's your heated seat with another fastener for the pillion seat, so you can fasten a bag to your rear seat if you want to, with more connector locations. Basically, you can fasten shit wherever you want to. Integrated back pad on the boxes. The boxes are all brand new. They have a lot of cool features. They're going to be expensive, but I don't expect them to hold up to off-road abuse. There's your triple black model, again with those exposed welds, but with a polished tank. And you can see on the left-hand side there those webbing mounts you can use to mount things to. Obviously, BMW has a tank bag for you that connects in natively, but let's see. It looks like an SW Motec tank, honestly, just because of the red trim. But let's just see what accessory makers come out with themselves. But triple black looks really nice. I think that's probably the one I would go with, just because it's overall just more uniform throughout. Again, I'm not really a big fan of the new tank radiator shroud design. I'm not really a big fan of the winglets, the aero blocking stuff. Not a fan of the hand guards. Not a fan of the lack of upper crash bars. A lot of stuff I'm not a fan of, but you know, they've given you a lot of options where now if you pick a paint color, you're getting a lot of like Farkles, factory Farkles added depending on the paint color you pick. So if you go for a rally spec or a trophy spec or a 719 spec, they're going to give you a lot more customizability from the factory that you didn't have before, which is just really nice. So here's the trophy, blue, red seat, and then they kept their red trim on the handguards there, spoked wheels, triple black, goes with gray handguards, black and gray seat. You don't lose much functionality though. And then if you go with the exclusive, you get that matte silver lower engine guard covers and upper radiator cover, green and gold with a gold handlebar, kind of like today's model. And then the launch red model, so ice gray is gone, red is now the base model GSA, the base color that'll be the the standard optioned color. Here's some side views. You'll just kind of walk down memory lane for a second. The center stand has this cool deployment feature that keeps center stand more tucked away, so your heel doesn't hit it when you're off-road. And so that's still carrying over. I can't tell if the GSA foot pegs are any larger than the GS. I'll have to see ones when they arrive in showrooms. And the possum scraper on the back is still there, but they luckily haven't succumbed to any crazy license plate mount wildness like they do on the F800, F900. So the license plate is still in a good place. So yeah, those LED lights that are under that front cowl there, under the beak, those are the auxiliary lights. And then if you get the Enduro package, then you'll have turn signals that get lowered down. I hope there's a picture of them in here. But they're right next to the headlight, actually next to the automatic cruise control radar thingy-majig. Not a lot of trim differences though between like triple black and 719 though. There will be seat options too: low, medium, high, comfort, etc. I think the premium bikes or the touring package bikes will all have the heated seat and heated hand grips. Premium will have just everything. And then Enduro is going to be more rugged. Here's some of the design, by the way. It's the next couple minutes of video, some design concepts before the thing was actually built. And it's just my favorite picture of this whole thing. When they get the Starbucks cup, it just makes me laugh. There's the GSA luggage mounts. As you can see that if you go back 5 seconds, you can see it without the GSA luggage mounts with them. So different mount from the Varios. And just more design stuff that I think is super cool that BMW included. Am I come around to this design? No, I still haven't come around to the design at all. I'm very happy with the one I have. See the accessories there on the left bottom where that BMW logo is? That's the BMW accessories that match the tank bag that mount to those. But you can obviously, mount your own bags there with webbing or straps if you want to. Yeah, I think that is a good evolution. I just think it's too boxy, it's too masculine, it's too Humvee. to Pan America. I just think that they just kind of went really hard on this being a revolutionary design, and I would have liked a bit more. Just like, I guess we had 10 years of the 1200, 1250 design, and this was just such a radical departure that it's still shocking. So there's him showing the Starbucks coffee cup on top of the fuel tank. It just makes me laugh every time I see it. And there's your tank bag latches and designs. These are going to be huge for accessory mounts. All the accessory mounts are going to be just a huge thing for touring people that were kind of fashioning up all kinds of things. Here's your GSA mount with that centerpiece there. That's the electronic locking that sends both power and locking mechanism to those GSA boxes, which maybe accessory makers will be able to tap into, but probably not. It'll probably be exclusive to the GSA boxes, and most companies will sell you their own racks to replace those. All right, so deep dive on the design videos. I enjoyed making this, piecing it all together. I thought some videos or some pictures here you probably haven't seen before. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Ride safe, and let me know your thoughts. Have a good day.